of us use the winter months to start planning out our spring gardening, and one thing you might want to consider is what you can add to your yard to help attract more birds. Corey Malice has more in today's Hands-on Gardening.
In today's Hands-on Gardening, I'm joined by Steve Hunzinger from the UW Extension Office, and we're at that time of the year where a lot of people are starting to plan out their gardens and their yards, and maybe some folks want to add some landscaping to attract more of the songbirds that come across the area during the spring and summer. Any ideas for them?
Well, we really want to start with some of our plantings and why we put them in. We really want to bring value not only to yourself for the yard, but also to attract then some of those birds in. So we're thinking about things like good foliage and cover for some of the species to nest in. We might be talking about fruits. We might be talking about interesting patterns of branches or twigs for them to roost on. So some considerations to start with.
Okay. A couple of things in specific or in particular?
Yeah, really the plants that we're looking at are evergreens. An evergreen is a must. At least one, maybe two or three plantings of evergreens are really going to bring in the majority of our birds. Then we want to think about the fruit side of it, whether it's service berries, viburnum, maybe some other plants. And then there's some to avoid, and things like honeysuckle we probably don't want to bring in because it's very invasive in there. The other one that birds really like is mulberry, and the problem with mulberry is the berry itself tends to be staining, so they consume them and then we'll have a staining effect later on. So mulberry can be a little weedy too, so it may not be the first choice that you want to bring in of plants.
Okay, and probably the key to this is to look at what your yard, how your yard is built in terms of space, but then also what type of birds you want to attract and then plant accordingly.
Exactly, and you want to plan it out so that it's around areas that are going to bring the birds in, such as that bird bath or that bird feeder, making sure that it fits within your landscape too, based on what you want to have for a yard. And remember, all of these sources, you can go to your local nurseries, you can order through some seed catalogs to get a lot of these plants. The other thing is there is a publication through Extension about landscaping for those songbirds.
Alrighty, thanks much there, Steve. That is today's Hands-on Gardening.